Hi, I'm Sue Cramer with Sue Cramer Coaching and the Awaken Your Moxie Facebook group. And I wanted to share something with you guys this morning. I'm in the midst of doing a class for Citadel Health in Otsego, and I'm working with several ladies in there and doing a whole course on the basics of understanding carbs and low carb and ketogenic. And the last 2 weeks, we've been talking a lot about addiction, and especially carbohydrate addiction or sugar addiction or, carbohydrates, which is going to be the sugars, the processed foods, the starches, all those kind of things. And yesterday's class, there was part of it that I really want to share with all of you because it was really powerful to me. I know a lot of people struggle like I have with carbohydrate addiction, with wanting carbs, with wanting sugar, wanting sweets. But it's not just sweets, it's the savory stuff too. It's the chips and all of the carbohydrates. So I just refer to it as carbohydrate addiction, okay? And I thought this was really powerful. As I was studying this out and looking at some research, I read some things that I want to share with you. So hopefully this is just a quick one that will make you think a little more, that it's deeper than food. It's more than just the food. It's not just that we like sweets. It goes deeper. Okay. So how many of you have heard of the story of the about addiction based on the rat study, which is where the rats are choosing either water or a water cocaine combination. And the rats choose the drug water over and over and over, and they get addicted and eventually overdose. So this is where we get our idea that, that's what addiction looks like. Okay. But one researcher, after reading that, he says, we're putting those rats in an isolated, empty cage, and they have nothing else to do but drink that. And so, of course, they're going to drink the one that makes them feel better, but maybe there's a bigger thing going on here. Maybe this has something more to do with the setting that they're in. So to test his hypothesis, he put the rats in what he called a rat park. And they were among other rats. They were free to roam. They were free to play, to socialize, to have sex. And they were given the same two options to drink from. Well, turns out they rarely drank from the drug-filled bottle. And when they did, it was intermittently, it was not obsessively, and they never overdosed. So the rats went from almost 100% overdose in the empty cages when isolated to 0% when they had happy and connected lives. So when the rats were living happy and connected lives, they didn't need the drug. Now, interestingly enough, at the same time this is happening, there is also a human experiment kind of happening, and that was the Vietnam War. And 20% of the people were using loads of heroin on the battlefield. But when they returned home, 95% of them just stopped using the heroin. I looked this up because I was like, man, is this true? Like, I don't want to say it unless it's true. And I found the studies backing it up. And it said that among US soldiers serving in Vietnam, in the first year after returning to the United States, only 1% became re-addicted to heroin, although 10% of them tried the drug after they returned, which leads us to question the hypothesis that addiction is solely based on the drug. What if it's less about the chemical hooks and more about the cage? What if addiction is an adaptation to our environment? What if it's less about the dopamine we get from carbohydrates and more about our life and what's happening around us and what need we're trying to fill? What if addiction is an adaptation to our environment? Maybe it shouldn't be called addiction, but instead should refer to something about bonding, because it seems to be connection and bonding are a huge part of what we call addiction. We have a natural and innate need to bond, to connect. And if we can't bond with people due to isolation, due to trauma, or some other reason, we will bond with something that will give us relief. Could be gambling, could be porn, could be cannabis, food, so many different things. But you will bond with something because that's our nature. It's how we were created. So if we're not bonding with something healthy, I would say your walk with the Lord, other people, the things around us, the different ways that we can manage our emotions through nature, through hobbies, through work, through joy, through relationships. We're going to bond with something. We're going to need something else to comfort us when we don't have the right things comforting us. I know Gabor Mate says the opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. Well, a core part of addiction is not being able to bear to be in your present life. And we think we are the most connected society ever, but Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat friends are not true life friends. They're not close friends, generally, unless they are on the outside of that. But you can't count that. The connections we think we have now are kind of a parody of real human connection. So I want you to think about that. I could keep going, but I want you to focus on thinking about, is my addiction to sugar, what could be the core of that? What need do I have that I'm trying to comfort with sugar, with food? What am I turning to? And when I coach women, I sit there and we unpack that. We look at, okay, well, how does it make you feel? And is there a fear behind it, that carbohydrate addiction, when you're like, I need to have this, I need to have that? Why do you need that right now? What just happened a half hour ago that made you be like, oh my goodness, I'm craving, I'm going crazy? Is there something else? What is going on truly with that addiction? So anyways, food for thought, no pun intended, but I wanted you to really think about that. And if I can help you on your journey, let me know. Otherwise, man, search it out yourself. Look into it. Explore that in your own heart. All right. I hope you have a wonderful day. Again, Sue Cramer with Sue Cramer Coaching, and that is at suecramercoaching.com. You can reach out to me or message me anytime, whatever. If you have any questions or any input, I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks. Have a great day.